All right. What's up, guys? Okay, so I was up late. It's 3 a.m. my time. I'm pretty much just sitting here kind of scrolling through the internet, looking at some different tech news. I do that pretty often. And I came across something, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a tech talk right now because this is pretty awesome that it's finally being talked about. Somebody finally released some true specs that have been confirmed on this. So I'm going to go ahead and dig right into this. It's going to be a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti and the RTX 2080 No Ti. Both of them are finally confirmed, 100% confirmed. They're going to be NVIDIA is going to be talking about them here in about 3 days or so, releasing more information, probably some software updates, stuff like that, telling us a little bit more about what all's going to be involved with it and everything. So let me go ahead and throw this web page up here so you can see this. This right here is the page I came across. So I was looking through the news and I'm like, all right, let's see if this is actually true. And the mother of all pre-launch leaks has happened. That's definitely true. It's a freaking new series of graphics cards. That's what we've all been waiting for, and here it is. So let's look at some of these specs and price points here. Uh, it's saying that it's for the pre-order right now on PNY's website, on Podi's website. It's going to be $1,000 for the 2080 Ti, and it's saying that's going to be about 800 for the 2080, which really is not bad at all because right now GTX 1080 Ti is going to run you $1,000 or higher right now with inflated GPU prices going crazy right now. Which I mean, you got to take this with a grain of salt. We don't know for sure if that's actually going to be the 100% true prices. We just know that's going to be kind of a basis to base their point on, at least, because if PNY had that on there for their pre-order, it may actually be right, but NVIDIA is notorious for changing price points and stuff like that. So who knows when they actually release all the information here in a couple of days, it might be way higher than that. It might come out and they're like, oh no, we're going to charge 1,500 for this bad boy. Still a good deal, honestly. I would pay that for this, but yeah, so let's go ahead and scroll down on through here and I'll show you a little bit more about it. Let's see. Yes, this right here is one of the really interesting things. It's going to be made with the Turing GPU architecture. So they're doing away with Pascal. They're not going to be doing it anymore. Uh, that's not to say they might be still making cards with that, but they're going to be doing away with it for this series at least. They're not going to be using it on the RTX series. So it's going to have 11 gigs of GDDR6 memory, which pretty impressive. I mean, they do have a couple of 11 gig cards out right now, but they're GDR4 or maybe 5, I think, on some of the higher end ones I've seen, but that's about it really. So that's going to be pretty awesome. That's going to give you some advantages there. It says that it claims it's going to be able to do 6 times the performance of previous generation graphics cards, which what it's talking about there, it's not overall, it's not talking about frames per second. It's not talking about any of that. That would be absolutely insane if it can do that. That's definitely not what it's talking about. What it's saying is it's talking about the actual ray tracing and the AI that's in games. You're supposed to be able to have like 6 times the performance for the ray tracing and that type of thing, which I'm guessing is going to have to include some sort of software update because they're, well, not just update, I mean, an entirely new software. Like they're going to be coming out with a specific GeForce RTX 2080 and 2080 Ti software for ray tracing because that's the only way they're going to be able to actually take advantage of this full hardware. So it's going to be absolutely insane. It probably really would be 6 times faster, and at least for the ray tracing anyway. So that's going to be absolutely awesome for realistic gameplay. That's going to be the hyper realistic games that the all the AAA titles that are really really high end graphics that are they're going for the best of the best, trying to make it look absolutely as best as they can. That's going to be this thing right here is going to hit every single one of them. It's going to be freaking awesome. So I'm pretty excited for that. Uh, let's see. It's going to be Ansel still, so that's cool. It's going to have G-Sync compatible. That's going to be really awesome. And of course, it's going to have pretty much all the connections that you would expect it to. The DisplayPort 1.4, HDMI 2.0B. It's going to be designed for USB Type C and Virtual Link. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to add a little bit. It's going to be HDCP 2.2 compliant. Basically everything is now, so that's cool. And it's going to have NVIDIA GPU boost. That to me is going to be pretty awesome too because we're going to have overclocking abilities, obviously, so that's going to be nice. So I don't know for sure exactly what levels are going to be, but it's going to be VR ready, which that's kind of a no-brainer. I would be very, very sad if it wasn't VR ready with those kind of specs. So, and then it's going to be only 285 watts, so that's actually not bad at all. And it's going to have a double or triple cooler design on it, depending on which model. I think the 2080 has the double and the Ti has the triple right now. So that's going to be pretty cool. It says and features 6 times the performance of past generations. This is quite clearly a nod to the ray tracing performance of the cards. So that's what I was talking about right there. That's definitely going to be a nod to that because obviously they're not going to be 6 times the frames per second because you're running a game right now 144. You're not going to be able to put it on there and run it 1,000. That's just absolutely insane. It's not possible. I mean, years from now it's going to be possible, yeah, but now, no. You wouldn't need that right now anyway. No monitor could ever even handle that. So, it says it's going to have single precision compute of 13.4 teraflops, which that's for the actual Ti. For the 2080 regular no Ti, it's going to have 10.06, which is still awesome because that's not counting the actual new architecture. So the difference between whenever they switched from the Pascal architecture to this new Turing from Pascal, that could be a couple teraflops worth of difference right there. That simple speed boost right there could be equal to 1 or 2 teraflops. You don't know. It might be more than that even. Who knows? So that could be pretty awesome. Uh, then it says keeping in mind dynamic turbo boost. That's going to be that. Yeah, that will add. It says 100 to 200 megahertz. I would probably agree with that. It's probably going to be right around that. I've seen some of them go a little bit higher than that, but it'll probably be something like that. An additional 1 to 2 teraflops of in real life gaming scenario. That's talking about if you actually boost it. It's not actually going to be 1 to 2 teraflops, but it will be the same performance as if it was 1 to 2 teraflops higher than that. So the real cherry on the top is going to be, of course, the software. That's what I was just talking about. They're going to be talking about software in less than 72 hours, less than 70 hours now, because this was posted about 2 hours ago. So I'm freaking excited, guys. This is awesome. I mean, I've known it's coming for a while. I've seen stuff about it on Reddit. I've seen a bunch of leaks here and there. I've seen talks about it, stuff like that, that is coming up. They're going to be coming out with the new one. It's going to be some kind of 20 series, something like that. I mean, it makes sense. I've been expecting that for a while, which I'm guessing the difference why they're switching up from the GTX to RTX. I'm guessing that's going to be something with the actual ray tracing as well, because it would make sense, but you never know. That might be totally different. That might be totally wrong. So, yeah. And here you actually see the spreadsheet of all of the individual pricings and everything, or not pricings, the individual specs and everything. So you can actually see the Ti. Uh, Shoot, I just knocked my camera down. There we go. But you can see the core clock is going to be 1350 megahertz, and for the actual 2080, it's actually going to be 1515, which that's a pretty standard thing they do with a lot of theirs. The standard versions of theirs are actually usually a little bit higher clock speed than their Ti versions, which kind of makes sense because they usually have more memory in their Ti versions, and they usually end up running a little bit hotter if they don't. So I think that's one of the reasons they kind of limit it down a little bit. But yeah, and it's going to have the two 8-pin power for the actual 2080 Ti, which a lot of them are using something similar to that, or the 2080 is going to have 6-pin and 8-pin power, so that makes sense as well. The memory interface is going to be 352 on the Ti. It's going to be 256 on the 2080 standard. Both of them are going to be 285 watts, which was kind of interesting. I found that interesting because I expected the Ti to be slightly higher. I'm guessing it's because it's only a dual fan on the 2080 and it's a triple fan, I believe, on the Ti. So, which still doesn't make quite sense, but I'm like, all right, that's cool. I can see that. I guess they've probably found a way just to kind of standardize it overall. You're going to be able to run 7680 by 4320 at 60 hertz. That's freaking awesome. You're going to be able to run better than 4K. Ultra wide, you're going to be able to do 60 hertz, no problem at all. You'd be running AAA titles a year, maybe 2 years, probably, well, actually, at least 3 or 4 years from now. Absolutely no problem. You're going to be running them 4K or higher, 60 frames, no problem at all. I can see this being an awesome thing. It's going to make it that much easier for developers to be able to be like, okay, now we have the technology that we can actually add in some better graphics to our games, and people out there are actually going to be able to utilize that function of these games. So that's freaking awesome. The memory bandwidth, I skipped that part. It's going to be 616 gigabits per second for the 2080 Ti and 448 for the regular 2080. So that's another thing that's going to be pretty awesome. Of course, it's multi-screen. Everybody should know that by now. The PCI Express 3.0, that makes sense. Thing is now, for the most part, there you're going to see they actually have the picture. They had the picture up there. They had the full, uh, pretty much the full thing. They had everything about this card on there. They had the full manual from what I could read on there that actually released on the PNY website. And I'm guessing they probably took it down. I didn't go on there to check and see if it's still on there, but they probably took that down. That probably resulted in somebody getting in trouble because I doubt that was supposed to be up there yet. So, but yeah, so let's see here. What else we got? It's going to have 4352 for the CUDA cores. That's going to be pretty nice. That's well above pretty much anything that's out at the moment. The only thing that might come close to that is uh, I think I want to say that the Titan XP, it's I think it was right around maybe 38, something like that. I don't remember for sure. It's been a while since I've looked at that card. I have a GTX 1080 in mine, so I'm not really too familiar with the XP. I wanted to get that one, I just never was able to. I actually really wanted the Star Wars edition of that one because that one was a badass graphics card right there. But and of course, base clock 1350, boost up to 1545. So that's going to be pretty awesome right there. I've kind of touched on that a couple times already. Pretty much the same thing. It's going to be, like I said, it is going to be similar to the Pascal, but it's going to be a more mature BOAL, BEOL, can't talk, as a 12 nm. So that'll improve it a little bit, I figure. Let's see. Anything else to touch on while I'm thinking about it or seeing it? Let's see. That's pretty much the full specifications, all that kind of stuff. They had everything pretty much on there. I thought this was kind of interesting. This RGB they put on this, that's kind of a cool touch. I mean, pretty much every card now has some sort of RGB on it because you have to have RGB on everything, like I said. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. Here it actually talks about the core count again for the 2080 is going to be 2944. So that's still pretty decent for that. Uh, and like I said, it is going to be clocked higher than the Ti variant, which makes sense. They pretty much always are like that, and they usually can boost higher as well. Makes sense. It says that it could possibly hit 2 gigahertz. I could probably see that being a realistic number. Guaranteed to clock 1710 right now is what it's saying. So I can, yeah, you could probably bump that up a little higher. There's definitely gonna be people that are pushing this card to the max, and they'll probably get 2 out of it, no problem. So, and there's a little bit more about it, but yeah, I got pretty much all my information as you can see from this web page. So pretty much everything I'm saying here, take it with a grain of salt because we don't know for sure if that is exactly how it's going to be. I just wanted to make this video real quick because I really wanted to at least touch on what I found online for you guys. So this is just something, I mean, I keep up with just general technology in general. I'm always going through the internet, scanning through web pages after web page, reading about it. I read this and then immediately I was like, okay, I don't know for sure if this is true. I feel like it is, but just to confirm, I kind of looked on a couple other pages. I did find several other things about leaks. There are a few other postings about a leak similar to this. So hopefully this is 100% true. Hopefully I'm not screwing you guys over by telling you all this information that is absolutely not true. So, and if it is, I am sorry, and I blame WCCFtech.com because I got all the information from them, which is probably not their fault either. The Usman Perzada, as you can, that name right there, Usman Perzada. That is the gentleman who posted this, I guess. So I would believe it at the moment because it seems like it is probably true. But I just wanted to make a quick video talking to you guys a little bit about some tech talk stuff, at least just to cover that and go over that, just tell you a little bit about that because I thought that was pretty awesome. And I had to touch on that because I mean we've been waiting for this for a while. So I'm really excited to see how this will impact VR gaming because I mean I'm fairly new into the VR gaming, but I have been doing it for a little while now. I played a lot on the PlayStation, been doing some on the PC. I've actually been trying to get into a little bit of actually creating some VR content, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to actually do that a little bit better in the future. And with cards like this coming out, we're going to have absolutely no problem rendering VR games at home full extent. I mean, we'll be able to make all kinds of awesome stuff with this. So that's really exciting to me. I see this as a creating tool just as much as a gaming tool because I mean, you can use it to create whatever you want, whenever you want. So that's going to be absolutely awesome to do. And the price point that they have for this right now, if that actually is true, that's going to be absolutely awesome as well because, of course, it's going to lower the GTX 10 series cards, which most people are pretty much absolutely scrapping to try to get a hold of and have been for well over a year now, which right now the prices are slightly lower than they have been in a very long time. So this will probably continue to lower that price, and I'm sure it's going to up the sales of the older 10 series cards as soon as this. Well, it'll actually do the opposite. Whenever this card first drops, and now that they've released some stuff about it, everybody's going to hold off on buying cards for a while except for the people who don't care to have the absolute highest. They want a decent card that's actually affordable. Those people, which I can't blame them, I have the 1080 in mind because I couldn't afford to have one of the Titan XPs or any of those because the XP I wanted was like $1,800, and whenever I was looking at the pre-order, it was like 1,200 or something. So, but for $1,000 for that though, if that is actually the correct price point for the 1080 or the RTX 2080 Ti, that's going to be a very solid price point. I feel that is a very fair price for all of its full specs and everything. If that actually is its full specs and that's the correct numbers, that's going to be a very solid price point. It's definitely going to be worth that, I feel. Uh, the 2080 for around 800, that can't be beat either. I mean, that's pretty decent. You would expect that card to be slightly underperforming compared to like a Ti or something, which makes sense. It kind of is because there are 11 gig versions of the Ti out right now for the 1080 Ti. That is, they're going to be running Pascal though. So since they are running Pascal, you might be able to get a RTX 2080, and even though it's only 8 gig, since it is Pascal on the 1080 Ti, that 2080 might be running faster on it using the Turing. So that's one thing to take into consideration, as well as the clock speed. I mean, it might be clocking a little bit higher, so you never know. And then another thing is, of course, the fact that it is GDDR6 on the 2080, whereas most TIs, I believe, are still 5. It might be 4. I'm not too sure on that. I haven't looked in a while. I don't remember every single spec of graphics cards, so I'm sorry. Some of you guys will probably remember every single one and be like, no, it's definitely not that. It's this right here, man. And I'm sorry if I get some of the details wrong. I'm really excited, so it's kind of hard for me to talk 100% and think straight about some of the older graphics cards. Too excited for the new upcoming graphics cards, so sorry, guys. But yeah, I just wanted to do a short little tech talk to kind of at least touch on this and let you guys know that, hey, this is a thing that's going to be out here. There's already people talking about it. There's been a couple different kind of posts that I've seen on here. I actually had found another Reddit post that was talking a little bit about it, and I was like, wait a minute, what? So then whenever I was on Google, I kind of didn't really think too much about it at first because it was on Reddit, and I'm like, okay, I see a lot of stuff like that on Reddit pretty often. It's not the first time that I've come across something on Reddit telling me, hey, we're about to come out with this graphics card, or not necessarily they're about to come out with it, but rumors and speculation of what the next series is going to entail, what all of it's going to have, what specs it's going to have. So I didn't think too much about it. Then I'm on Google a little bit later. I was looking at an article about the implementation of Cortana with Alexa devices. Okay, she didn't hear me. Didn't want to activate mine with Alexa devices, as well as Alexa being involved in Cortana devices now, such as Windows PCs, which I mean that's pretty much the only Cortana devices at the moment. But so the fact that they're going to be able to actually talk to one another, that's going to be awesome. But sorry, that's a side note there. That's probably going to be another video I might touch on later. But I was actually reading an article about that, and I was on Google's news page on my news feed for technology, and I scrolled up and I happened to see this right here, the headline of this, and I was like, so they did at least leak something. So I clicked on it just to see what it is. That's what I found for you guys. Just wanted to get it out there, pretty much regurgitate the same information. I know everybody could read, so if you just go to that webpage, you'll be able to find all of the information for yourself, kind of read through it yourself, see if you think it's true or not. I've shared the link to this page already on my Facebook page as well. It's Old Soul New Tech on Facebook as well, so you can go there and find it. You can go ahead and like it, you'll be able to see all of that stuff on there. I post a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing in my tech talk videos like this. I will post all of the information for that on Facebook somewhere, most likely, and probably some of my other different social medias and stuff like that to get the information out there to you guys. And different things that I don't really think maybe warrant a full video but are interesting pieces. I'll probably be posting on some of those sites as well. So if you follow some of them, you'll get some more little tech bits here and there as well, besides just my normal actual gaming content and my videos that I actually create. So just keep that in mind for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this. If you liked what you've seen, if you liked watching this video, hearing about these new graphics cards, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button, please, and go ahead and hit the notifications, turn those on so that way then you'll be the first to know if I have any new content like this. I post videos like this pretty much right away. Obviously, it's 3 a.m. and I'm still sitting here talking about this graphics card. It's actually 3:15 now. I've been on here for 20 minutes already talking about this graphics card. So sorry for the long video, guys, but I felt I needed to tell you all about that. And that's about it for now. So thank you guys for watching Old Soul New Tech. I'm Joshua Daniels, and that has been an update on the RTX 2080 Ti and RTX 2080.